Hi there, and welcome to Apple World. Young Thug and his YSL group have taken an unexpected curve that might actually influence the continuous RICO case. Cordarius Dorsey, referred to in the music world as YSL Polo, a co-litigant in Young Thug's case, has been sentenced for homicide. This disclosure comes from a report by the Atlanta Diary-Constitution, which expresses that Dorsey was viewed as blameworthy for the 2020 lethal shooting of Xavier Arlandor Turner. The episode was caught on a reconnaissance camera and thus occurred outside a hairstyling salon at the old Public Town Markdown Shopping Center in School Park, Georgia. While the security film didn't plainly uncover the aggressor's face, Dorsey was distinguished at the scene wearing similar garments as the shooter. This matchup likewise lined up with onlooker depictions of the individual who committed the demonstration to additionally set the body of evidence against him. Examiners introduced implicating instant messages that Dorsey had shipped off companions soon after the shooting. One message chillingly read, "Brother, I just killed one more on Old Net. I just killed at the Markdown Dorsey's Crook Foundation," which is out and out disturbing. He is a supposed individual from the Blood Road posse and was at that point serving a daily existence sentence for one more homicide that was likewise gotten on camera. This past episode happened in 2019, where Dorsey purportedly shot and killed 39-year-old dad Suleiman Jallo during an outfitted burglary outside a service station. A telling pass-along this evening from Southwest Houston, a man has been shot and killed while siphoning gas. It occurred on the Stella Connection, close to the South Circle. Houston police say the casualty was moved toward by a few different men where words were traded and afterward shots rang out. Specialists accepted the casualty might have been designated. Up until this point, no captures and no depiction of the shooter during the 6-day preliminary for his most recent conviction. Investigators introduced proof that Dorsey had set out on a limited wrongdoing binge between the 2019 and 2020 homicides. They exhibited his online entertainment accounts, where he purported lie showed taken gems and talked nonchalantly about killing individuals. Examiner got him reo during Wednesday's end contentions offered areas of strength for Dorsey, saying there exist individuals like Mr. Dorsey who simply need to watch the world consume. He has no issue ending the lives of others. At last, Dorsey was condemned to existence without any chance to appeal, in addition to 55 extra years for the School Park murder. In spite of the conviction, the AJC reports that Dorsey's lawful group means to pursue this most recent conviction of YSL. Polo takes us back to Young Thug's continuous RICO case. Recently, Hooligan's legitimate group mentioned the court's decision to eliminate Dorsey from the RICO preliminary. This evening, we are following a few new subtleties in the continuous YSL RICO preliminary. While the majority of the consideration has naturally been on Jeffrey Williams, known as rapper Young Thug, his co-litigants are ending up similarly significant for the situation, definitely so. Power Klein Peter has erred on the most recent movement record to eliminate one of Young Thug's co-respondents from the court. Their contention revolves around Dorsey's amateurish and unsatisfactory directness in court, which they accept could keep Hooligan from getting a fair preliminary. As of now, we have our hands on the most recent movement recorded in the YSL case. So Young Thug's lawyers are currently attempting to eliminate one of the rapper's codes protectors from the preliminary following some odd conduct in court, and it's on record here only days prior Cordarius Dorsey, otherwise called YSL Polo, was making some strange hand signals in court on Friday. Young Thug's lawyer tracked down a movement to cut off from Dorsey, guaranteeing his way of behaving could adversely influence Young Thug's opportunity for a fair preliminary. Given this new conviction, the solicitation adds one more layer of intricacy to a generally muddled fight in court. Popular assessment has forever been a landmark for superstars, and Young Thug is no exception in the midst of this large number of lawful entrapments. The court of popular assessment remains strongly partitioned. The most recent conviction of YSL Polo has fanned the fire for certain fans, addressing Young Thug's relationship with such people. It's not simply a question of lawful punishments. Young Thug's profession, notoriety, and, surprisingly, individual life are on the line. The YSL Polo conviction is a basic element that could impact the RICO case as well as the open and industry view of Young Thug. The twisting road of Young Thug's lawful excursion is a long way from being done, and with each diversion, the stakes get higher for him as well as for everybody required as we keep on following this story. One thing that stays clear is that the expanding influences of this case will be felt across the hip jump local area, And with YSL Polo's new conviction, the legitimate implications for youthful hooligan could be serious. One needs to ponder whether this could affect the appointed authority and the jury's view of him. I'll manage that likewise. Yet your client, I notice, has been doing likewise conduct, and I accept Judge Adams asking into it too. So you great. It's a show judge goodness it is, except if there's some other request of mine, then at that point, we'll see you all tomorrow. The first thing for a couple of individuals to look at is that it's a muddled, legitimate entanglement, and Young Thug's safeguard group should explore it. Cautiously, the arraignment could utilize Polo's conviction to paint Young Thug's whole YSL team in a negative light, which could reinforce their RICO body of evidence against him. The media has continuously assumed an urgent role in molding popular assessments, and on account of Young Thug, this is no special case. Media sources and web-based entertainment stages are humming with the most recent updates, hypotheses, and feelings, while the media inclusion includes one more layer of tension. Young Thug and his legitimate group, it likewise gives them an open door. Doe's lawyer, Brian Steele, provided me with this duplicate of the movement that he recorded on Friday, requesting Cordarius Dorsey, otherwise called YSL Polo, be taken out of the preliminary because of his unseemly conduct in court, claiming that his direct could influence Young Thug. Opportunity at a fair preliminary. A canny media procedure could assist with adjusting the story, particularly given the new regrettable press encompassing YSL Polo's conviction. Young Thug's circumstance has additionally evoked differing responses from the hip-bounce local area. A few specialists and industry insiders have communicated their help. While others have been prominently quiet, the inquiry that emerges is, what will this continuous case mean for Young Thugs remaining inside the hip jump? The local area has associations with different craftsmen and makers. What's more, record marks could go through massive changes. Relying on the case's result, fights in court are genuinely depleting as well as monetarily burdening. The expense of a vigorous guard procedure combined with the likely loss of pay from stopped projects and drop shows could place an imprint on Young Thug's funds. As somebody who has expanded revenue streams through different undertakings, the effect of the continuous case on his monetary well-being is one more point to consider. Young Thug's ongoing lawful burdens likewise, he will cast a shadow on his future tasks, and joint efforts will make specialists reluctant to work with him given the ongoing conditions. Names will distance themselves to stay away from the negative exposure. These are questions that are destined to be answered in time, yet they add one more layer of vulnerability to an all-around unstable circumstance. Young Thug has a critical following, and his fans are enthusiastically seeing how this present circumstance unfolds. What might this case at any point mean for his fan base, either dissolving it or exciting it further? A dynamic can't be overlooked and could play a part in how Young Thug moves toward his public communications and proclamations pushing ahead. The case likewise converges with more extensive social issues. For example, racial profiling in the law enforcement framework's treatment of craftsmen in the hip jump local area. It adds one more aspect to the case, making it a fight in court as well as a subject of social talk, dealing with a public persona is trying in an ideal situation, and amidst the fight in court, it turns into a difficult undertaking. Young Thug's administration and PR groups are without a doubt staying at work longer than required to control the story and keep up with his public picture. Their job is often underrated, yet in a high-profile case like this, it very well may be a distinct advantage. The right PR moves could assist with relieving a portion of the reputational harm and even influence the general assessment of Young Thug's approval. The results of comparative cases, including high-profile craftsmen, could give a few bits of knowledge into what Young Thug could expect. Previous cases have brought about both convictions and vindications, and they act. Subscribe Apple World for more videos.